have purchased several new releases, so I feel to try them out today. Since today I'm using the SUQQU Blush palette, I think. I thought I would just use a SUQQU foundation, which is the Nude Wear Liquid foundation in the shade 002. It's a very light foundation. Why my voice is like this? It's very liquidy product. Oh, it's a little too light for me. So the foundation has done, and like you can see, it's quite a glowy foundation. Let's put on some concealer, and this is from RMS Beauty Cover Up, and the shade is 11. Apply some powder. I feel I can talk today. Maybe because I haven't really talked for like 4 days. This primer from Anastasia actually spreads very easily, even on the eyelid with powder. You know, apply some powder onto the eye primer. So Dior has released their new 5-colored eyeshadow palette. It's called High Color Eyeshadow Wardrobe Longwear Creamy Powder Palette. The previous 5-colored palette was like this, and now it's like this. It's like a little bit a little bit bigger, and I think 3 grams of product, and this is 7 grams of product. So I think they are better for the, you know, value of money that you paid. This kind of cool-toned brown shadow usually gives me a more classy, kind of sexy of way. So I really want to try it, and I don't really have these kind of colors. Blending this blur from Melt all over my lid. This is a little bit peachier than my skin tone. Okay, which color do we want to use? Maybe this color? It looks like a very pretty taupey kind of color. Oh, the pigmentation is quite good. And I want to say, because I put that blur shade all over my lid, so this color is actually blending quite well. I want to put a little bit this shade on the outer corner of my lid. Look a little bit darker, but quite quite similar. In the pan, it looks more, how to say, olive toned kind of shadow, but on your eyes, just cool toned, taupey, shimmery kind of shade, which is actually quite sexy shade, I would say. And just a little bit of the center shade, which is, it looks like a matte, very deep brown with a little hint of red undertone. Oh, I think it's blending okay on this shimmery eyeshadows. I don't know how it would blend, you know, just on, you know, primed lid, but not on top of another shimmery eyeshadows. But I think it blends pretty well. And I want to use this shade as a top coat because when I was swatching this, which you can see from the swatching clip, it's not very pigmented kind of shade. It's just a very fine glitter. They want you to use as a top coat kind of shade. Yeah, I don't know if you can tell, but it's a very subtle top coat kind of shade. It just gives you a very delicate kind of sheen on your eyelid. To apply this shade, lower lash line. Oh, actually this shade has a little bit very fine glitter in it, which makes it looks a little wet on your under eye. It looks like a cream eyeshadow, which is quite beautiful. It's almost black brown shade as my eyeliner, which I usually do. I don't really wear that much of liquid eyeliner because I think it just requires too much of effort and time of doing it. And actually, it gives me that kind of feeling. It's a very Dior kind of look, you know, very classy, like a mature women would wear kind of look, which I really like. I would definitely wear to the office. I've finished the eye look. I liked this palette. It won't be like my favorite something, but look comes out what I want from this palette, so for that I like this. But a lot of similar tones in this palette, like the two very dark matte shade and two similar taupey toned kind of shimmer. So I hope they will do one of these two, a lighter matte brown kind of shade, even if it's a cool toned brown. I actually want some not really transitioning kind of shade, but a matte cool brown shade that you can actually use all over your lid and doesn't look like a black smoky eye. If you do that, you know, if you do that with this shadow, it definitely looks like a black smoky eye. So I think maybe doing this shade in lighter, like medium cool toned matte eyeshadow will make this more wearable. But there's nothing about this like being not wearable because they still have some mid-toned kind of shade, but they just don't have matte mid-tone shadow. So, but I am not that person that I have to use matte shadows on my eyelid. I can get away with shimmer eyeshadow all over the lid, so I'm okay with this palette. I think if I'm going for this kind of look, I will use this palette. And this shade, I expected this shade to be a little bit more pigmented. Like you can see, it's very sheer. If you are expecting a very light reflective shadow from this, you're not gonna get that. This, the sheen on the center of my lid is the max you will get from applying this dry with my finger. So that's it. And now this blush palette with which I'm very excited for, because I am a big fan of SUQQU's blush, 4 of them, and they are all very beautiful. Like this shade is 101, and they are very beautiful, and the compact is very slim, and they have a nice mirror and actually a nice brush. It's very soft, and actually it's very convenient because it's not a shitty brush you get from some blush that you cannot really use, just purely taking up space. But this is not. This is a very useful brush. And like 105, I believe it's also a limited edition, but I love this color a lot. And this color in 04, which I think is a permanent shade, and all of the colors doesn't look like something that you put on top of your skin, but looks like something is in from the inside. So I really love them. When I saw this coming, I was very excited, and when they arrived, I was swatching this, and I actually feel the color is very everyday kind of color, and they really do have every shade you would ever need from a blush. I mean, I would say everything that I need from a blush, which is a cool-toned pink, corally kind of color, and a little nude bronzy kind of color, and a little bit, how to say, purpley, not burgundy, but a little bit purple kind of brown undertoned color. And to highlight, one is gold and one is leaning more pink, which is, you know, the colors you will use on the daily basis. And in the clip, when I swatch it, I find they are quite soft colors. So what should I use today? I'm thinking this shade, because today is a very smoky eyeshadow. I think I want to use something that's neutral. This, rubbing a little bit on my wrist and apply it. Oh. Yeah, it apply very beautifully. I think this color suits very well for my eye look today. I have 0 fallout, so that's good. I don't know if you can see, but you don't even have to blend it too much. Yeah, I really like this. And like I said, even this looks very deep in the pan. It doesn't look like that on your skin. For highlighter, maybe the gold. Oh, actually it's much more intense than I have expected. Because when I'm swatching this, the color is kind of very dull on my skin. Like if I swatch right now, it's not that beaming at all. But on your face, it's very beaming, and I'm not even apply that much. It's not too gold on my skin, I think. It's a nice champagne kind of color. Maybe I'll layer a little bit pink shade. The pink is actually not as pink as I was swatching it, because when you swatch this, it's quite pink. but I feel it's when you apply too much, a little bit emphasizing my texture, but not too much. So maybe just don't use too much of this product. Now using the pink shade on my nose and my mouth. Apply this pinky highlighter a little bit on the inner corner. Just one thing about this palette is just don't apply too much of the highlighter because it will emphasize a little bit of your texture if you apply too much. But overall, it's not bad at all. It's a very beautiful highlight. Yeah, so I just tried to layer a little bit of setting spray on top of my highlighter, and actually made the highlighter melt much better into my skin. Now it's not emphasizing so much of my texture because I applied too much of the highlighter. So maybe if you apply too much of this highlighter, just layer some of the setting spray and it will just melt the product really well into your skin, make it wet looking. Oh my god, it's glass liking skin. Whoa. So we're done. Bye.